Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we are diving deep into the heart of India, to a city brimming with history, culture, and incredible stories. We're in Delhi, and for this trip, I've curated an absolutely epic day, taking you to four of its most iconic and meaningful spots. The majestic Red Fort. The stunning Humayun's tomb. And the serene Lodhi Garden. So, get ready to explore, learn, and be amazed. Our first stop is a symbol of India's independence and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The magnificent Red Fort. The Lahori Gate is the main entrance to the Red Fort, where the Prime Minister hoists the national flag every Independence Day. Shri Digambar Jain Lal Mandir. Located just opposite the massive Red Fort, at the intersection of Netaji Subhas Marg and Chandni Chowk, Digambar Jain Temple is the oldest Jain temple in the capital. The Red Fort is open to visitors from 9:30 am to 4:30 pm daily, except Mondays. The entrance fee is 35 rupees for Indians and 550 rupees for foreign tourists. Stepping into the Red Fort, or Lal Killa, as it's known locally, is like walking straight into Mughal history. Built by Emperor Shah Jahan in the 17th century, this colossal fort served as the main residence of the Mughal emperors for nearly 200 years. Imagine the grand darbars, the royal processions, the stories whispered within these very walls. The Chhata Chowk is a long passageway that contains a bazaar, or market, located in the Red Fort, behind the Lahori Gate. It is lined with two-story flats that contain 32 arched bays serving as shops. During Shah Jahan's reign, the Chhata Chowk was very exclusive, specializing in trading goods such as silk, velvet, gold, silverware, jewelry, gems and precious stones, catering to the luxurious tastes of imperial households. Kranti Mandir Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose Museum at the Red Fort is a complex of 4 new museums housed in the refurbished British barracks. Inaugurated in January 2019, it is dedicated to India's freedom fighters and covers 160 years of Indian history, leading up to independence from British rule. Emperor Shah Jahan commissioned the construction of the Red Fort on the 12th of May 1639, following his decision to relocate the Mughal capital from Agra to Delhi. Originally adorned in red and white, the fort's design is attributed to Ustad Ahmad Lahori, the architect behind the Taj Mahal. The entire Red Fort complex spans over an area of 254 acres. The Naubat Khana is the drum house that stands at the entrance between the outer and inner court at the Red Fort. Music was performed here daily at scheduled time. Musicians from the Naubat Khana would announce the arrival of the emperor and other dignitaries at Divaniyam. The richly carved floral designs on its red sandstone walls appear to have been originally painted with gold. The interior was colorfully painted. Several layers of these paintings can be found at the entrance chamber. Now, our journey leads us to the Diwani Arm, the Hall of Public Audience. This vast pillared hall was where the emperor, seated on his magnificent throne, would hold court, hear petitions from common citizens, and administer justice. Imagine the murmuring crowds, the imperial decrees, the sheer spectacle of power on display. But true exclusivity resided in the Diwani Khas, the hall of private audience. Here, amidst exquisitely carved marble and semi-precious stone inlay, the emperor would meet his trusted advisors, foreign dignitaries, and close family. This was once home to the legendary peacock throne, encrusted with diamonds and emeralds, a symbol of unimaginable wealth, later plundered during foreign invasions. The Moti Masjid is a 17th century historical mosque inside the Red Fort complex. It was built by Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb, damaged during the siege of Delhi, and subsequently restored by the British. Named for its white marble, the mosque features ornate floral carvings. It is an important example of Mughal architecture during Aurangzeb's reign. The Hayat Baksh Bagh, which means life-bestowing garden, is the largest garden in the Red Fort. It was built by Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan. The garden is beautifully decorated by pools, fountains, canals, walled enclosures and channels. Mostly the Mughal architectures are inspired by Islamic culture, but this garden is more influenced by Persian culture. The Sawan and Bhado pavilions are two almost identical structures facing on opposite ends of the canal. They are carved out of white marble. A feature is a section of a wall with niches. Originally small oil lamps would be lit and placed in these niches at night, or vases with golden flowers be placed during the day. The water from the channel would cascade over it, creating the impression of a golden curtain. The names Sawan and Bhado are the two rainy months in the Hindu calendar during the monsoon. It is not clear, however, which pavilion carries which name. In the middle between the two pavilions lies the Zafar Mahal. This structure was constructed during the reign of Bahadur Shah II in 1842 and named after him. This pavilion stands in the middle of a pre-existing water tank. It is made out of red sandstone, which was cheaper than white marble. Originally a red sandstone bridge led into the pavilion, which was probably lost after the Indian Rebellion of 1857. Now, we're heading to another architectural marvel, one that's said to have inspired the Taj Mahal itself. The Humayun's Tomb. Humayun's Tomb is generally open from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily, with Sunday being the day it is closed. The entry fee is 35 rupees for Indian citizens, and 550 rupees for foreigners. Children up to 15 years of age have free entry. The tomb of the noble Isa Khan Nirazi is located in the Humayun's Tomb complex. The mausoleum, octagonal in shape and built mainly of red sandstone, was built between 1547 and 1548 during the reign of Sher Shah Suri. The tomb was constructed in the Lodi style architectural. Its octagonal shape, the hallmark of the Lodi era, stands on a low plinth. Humayun's tomb, a magnificent garden tomb built in the mid-16th century for the Mughal Emperor Humayun. This place is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It is an absolute masterpiece of Mughal architecture, and often considered the first garden tomb on the Indian subcontinent. What strikes you immediately is the symmetry and the sheer elegance. It is primarily built of red sandstone, but beautifully adorned with white marble detailing. Notice the double dome structure, a revolutionary design at the time. This tomb is so significant because it's believed to be a major inspiration for the Taj Mahal, which was built later. Completed in 1570, Humayun's tomb is a marvel of architectural innovation. Designed by Mirak Mirza Ghiyas, a Persian architect, it seamlessly blends Persian and Indian architectural styles. Notice the striking use of red sandstone, contrasted beautifully with white marble. Stepping inside, the tomb's interior is a study in solemn grandeur. The central chamber houses the cenotaph of Emperor Humayun, positioned directly beneath the main dome. The high arched doorways and intricate jali screens allow natural light to permeate the space, creating a serene and contemplative atmosphere. This innovative design ensured that the tomb remained cool and well ventilated, a testament to the advanced engineering of the time. The tomb encompasses the grave of Emperor Humayun, along with the grave of Empress Begar Begum, Hajji Begum, and also Dara Shikoh, great-great-grandson of Humayun and son of the later Emperor Shah Jahan, as well as numerous other subsequent Mughal emperors. The Humayun's tomb is surrounded by the magnificent Charbagh, a Persian-style quadrilateral garden divided into four main parts by walkways and water channels. This symmetrical layout symbolizes the Garden of Paradise, a concept deeply rooted in Islamic tradition. From royal tombs to serene gardens, our next stop offers a different kind of beauty and a sense of calm right in the heart of Delhi. Lodhi Garden. After immersing ourselves in Mughal history, we have arrived at Lodhi Garden, a popular urban park in Delhi that seamlessly blends lush greenery with stunning historical monuments. It is a favorite spot for morning walks, picnics, and for anyone looking for a peaceful escape. But this isn't just any park. Within its grounds lie the tombs of several rulers from the 15th and 16th centuries, specifically from the Sayyid and Lodhi dynasties. You have Muhammad Shah's tomb, Bara Gumbad, and Sheesh Gumbad, among others. It's fascinating how these ancient structures are just part of daily life here. The architecture of these tombs, though different from the Mughals, is equally impressive. You can see the intricate carvings and the distinct styles of their time. It's a wonderful place to relax and appreciate how Delhi preserves its past within its present. The Bara Gumbad is a medieval monument located in Lodhi Gardens. It is part of a group of monuments that include a Friday mosque Jama Masjid, and the Mehman Khana, guest house of Emperor Sikandar Lodi. This was constructed in 1490 CE, during the reign of the Lodi dynasty. Its construction is generally attributed to Sikandar Lodi, and it is believed to have the earliest constructed full dome of any building in Delhi. Shish Gumbad is a tomb from the Lodi dynasty and is thought to have possibly been constructed between 1489 and 1517 CE. Historians have suggested the structure might have been dedicated either to an unknown family, which was part of the Lodi family, or to Balul Lodi, died the 12th of July 1489 himself, who was chief of the Afghan Lodi tribe, founder and sultan of the Lodi dynasty. Lodi Garden is generally open to the public from 6 am to 8 pm daily. There are no entry fees. It's open on all days of the week, including holidays. And that brings our incredible Delhi adventure to a close. From the majestic Red Fort, a symbol of India's sovereignty, to the architectural marvel of Humayun's tomb and Lodi Garden, each of these places offers a unique window into India's rich history, culture, and progress. I hope you enjoyed exploring them. If you loved this video, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more travel adventures, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos.